Krishna. Welcome to our reading. Today we've got special guests. You can see them behind us up there. Sri Nitai. So they wanted to be a part of it as well. They're not going to read, they said. They're just going to listen. So anyway. So it's Canto 2, Chapter 6, Text 42, the Purusha Sukta confirmed. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Alright, text 42. Karananavasai Vishnu is the first incarnation of the Supreme Lord, and he is the master of eternal time, space, cause and effects, mind, the elements, the material ego, the modes of nature, the senses, the universal form of the Lord, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, and the sum total of all living beings, both moving and non-moving. Purport. That the material creation is not permanent has been discussed many times herein before. The material creation is but a temporary exhibition of the material energy of the Almighty God. This material manifestation is necessary to give a chance to the conditioned souls who are unwilling to associate with the Lord in the relationship of loving transcendental service. Such unwilling conditioned souls are not allowed to enter into the liberated life of spiritual existence because at heart they are not willing to serve. Instead, they want to enjoy themselves as imitation gods. The living entities are constitutionally eternal servitors of the Lord, but some of them, because of misusing their independence, do not wish to serve. Therefore, they are allowed to enjoy the material nature, which is called Maya or illusion. It is called illusion because the living beings under the clutches of Maya are not factually enjoyers, although they think that they are, being illusioned by Maya. Such illusion living entities are given a chance at intervals to rectify their perverted mentality of becoming false masters of the material nature, and they are imparted lessons from the Vedas about the eternal relationship with the Supreme Lord Krishna. Vedas cha sarvam aham eva vedya.
Vedas cha sarvam aham eva vedya.
That's what I said.
Oh, that's right. Was that the end of the paragraph?
Yes.
Not in mine, sir. So, the temporary creation of the material manifestation is an exhibition of the material energy of the Lord. And to manage the whole show, the Supreme Lord incarnates himself as the Karanarnavashayi. Different name. Usually it's Karanadakshayi, but this is used in different places. Karanarnavashayi Vishnu. Just as a magistrate is deputed by the government to manage affairs temporarily. This Karanadakshayi, then uses that one, Karanadakshayi Vishnu, causes the manifestation of material creation by looking over his material energy, Sa Akshata. In the first volume of this book, we have already discussed to some extent the explanation of the verse Jagde Purusham Rupam. The duration of the illusory play of material creation is called a kalpa. And we have already discussed the creations taking place in kalpa after kalpa. By his incarnation and the activities of his potencies, the complete ingredients of creation, namely time, space, cause, result, mind, and the gross and subtle elements, and their interactional modes of nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, and then the senses and their reservoir source, the gigantic universal form as the second incarnation, Garbhodakshayi Vishnu, and all living beings, both moving and standing, which come out of the second incarnation, all became manifested. Ultimately, all these creative elements and the creation itself are but manifestations of the Supreme Lord's potencies. Nothing is independent of the control of the Supreme Being. The first incarnation in the material creation, namely Karanarnavashayi Vishnu, is the plenary part of the original personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, described in the Brahma Samhita 5:48 as follows. Yashaikanishvashita kalamathavalambhya jivanti loma vilaja jagaranandanata Vishnur Mahansa iha yasya kala vishesho Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. All the innumerable universes are maintained only during the breathing period of Mahavishnu, or Karanarnavashaya Vishnu, who is only a plenary part of Govinda, the original personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna.
Text 43 and 45. Oh, hello, Mike. Hello. You're up early? No, I don't know
late.
what time it is over there. I myself, Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, great progenitors like Daksha and Sarvabhaumanu, Swayambhuva, yourself, Narada and the Kumaras, heavenly demigods like Indra and Chandra, the leaders of the Buraloka planets, the leaders of the earthly planets, the leaders of the lower planets, the leaders of the Gandharva planets, the leaders of the Vidyadhara planets, the leaders of the Charanaloka planets, the leaders of the Yakshas, Rakshas and Uragas, the great sages, the great demons, the great atheists and the great spacemen, as well as the dead bodies, evil spirits, Satans, Jinn, Jeepers, Kushmandas, great aquatics, great beasts and great birds, etc. In other words, anyone and everyone exceptionally possessed of power, mental and perceptual dexterity, strength, forgiveness, beauty, modesty, opulence and breeding, whether with form or formless, may appear to be the specific truth and the form of the Lord, but actually they are not so. They are only fragments of the transcendental potency of the Lord. Purport. Those in the list given above, beginning from the name Brahmaji, the first living creature within the universe, down to Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, Narada and other powerful demigods, men, supermen, sages, rishis and other lower creatures of extraordinary strength and opulence, including the dead bodies, Satans, evil spirits, jinn, aquatics, birds and beasts, may appear to be the Supreme Lord, but factually none of them is the Supreme Lord. Every one of them possesses only a fragment of the great potencies of the Supreme Lord. The less intelligent man is surprised to see the wonderful actions of material phenomena, as the Aborigines are fearful of a great thunderbolt, a great and gigantic banyan tree, or a great lofty mountain in the jungle. For such undeveloped human beings, merely the slight display of the Lord's potency is captivating. A still more advanced person is captivated by the powers of the demigods and goddesses. Therefore, those who are simply astonished by the powers of anything in the creation of the Lord, without any factual information of the Lord himself, are known as Shaktas, or worshippers of the great powers. The modern scientist is also captivated by the wonderful actions and reactions of natural phenomena, and therefore is also a Shakta. These lower grade persons generally rise to become Suryas, worshippers of the sun god, or Ganapatyas, worshippers of the mass of people as Janata, Janardan, or Daridra Narayan, etc., in the form of Ganapati, and then rise to the platform of worshipping Lord Shiva in search of the ever-existing soul, and then to the stage of worshipping Lord Vishnu, the super soul, etc., without any information of Govinda, Lord Krishna, who is the original Lord Vishnu. In other ways, some are worshippers of race, nationality, birds, beasts, evil spirits, Satans, etc. The general worship of Sani Deva, the lord of distressful conditions, and Sitala Devi, the goddess of smallpox, is also common among the mass of people. And there are many foolish men who worship the mass of people or the poor class of men. So different persons, societies and communities, etc., worship some of the potent manifestations of the Lord, wrongly accepting the powerful object as God. But in this verse, it is advised by Brahmaji that none of them is the Supreme Lord. They are only borrowed plumes from the original Almighty Lord Sri Krishna. When the Lord advises in the Bhagavad Gita to worship Him alone, it is to be understood that worshipping Lord Krishna includes worshipping all who are mentioned above, because He, Lord Krishna, includes everyone.
It's quite an exhaustive list as well.
Yeah.
When the Lord is described as formless in the Vedic literatures, it is to be understood that all these forms mentioned above, within the experience of universal knowledge, are different exhibitions of the Lord's transcendental potencies only. And none of them factually represents the transcendental form of the Lord. But when the Lord actually descends to the earth or anywhere within the universe, the less intelligent class of men also mistake Him to be one of them. And thus they imagine the transcendence to be formless or impersonal. Factually, the Lord is not formless, nor does He belong to any of the multi-forms experienced within the universal forms. One should try to know the truth about the Lord by following the instruction of Brahmaji.
Text 46. O Narada, now I shall state one after another the transcendental incarnations of the Lord known as Leela avatars. Hearing of the activities counteracts all foul matter accumulated in the ear. These pastimes are pleasing to hear and are to be relished. Therefore they are in my heart. Purport. As it was said in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam 1.5.8, one cannot be fully satisfied by hearing unless and until one is given a chance to hear of the transcendental activities of the Lord. So Brahmaji is also trying in this verse to stress the importance of narrating the transcendental pastimes of the Lord as He comes and manifests Himself here on the surface of the material planets. Every living entity has a tendency to hear pleasing messages, and as such, almost every one of us is inclined to hear news and talks broadcast by the radio stations. But the difficulty is that no one is satisfied at heart by hearing all those messages. The cause of such dissatisfaction is the incompatibility of the message with the innermost stratum of the living soul. This transcendental literature is especially prepared by Srila Vyasadeva to give the utmost satisfaction to the people in general by narration of the activities of the Lord, as instructed by Sri Narada Muni to Srila Vyasadeva. Such activities of the Lord are principally of two varieties. One concerns the mundane manifestations of the material creative force, and the other deals with His pastimes in the form of different incarnations in terms of the time and place. There are innumerable incarnations of the Lord, like the waves of the river flowing constantly in and out. Less intelligent persons take more interest in the creative forces of the Lord in the material world, and being disconnected from their relationship with the Lord, they put forward many theories of the creation in the name of scientific research. The devotees of the Lord, however, know well how the creative forces work concurrently by the action and reaction of the material energy of the Lord. Therefore, they take more interest in the transcendental activities of the Lord as He incarnates Himself on the surface of the material world. Srimad Bhagavatam is the history of such activities of the Lord, and people who take interest in hearing Srimad Bhagavatam clear their hearts of accumulated mundane filth.
Great.
There are 1,001 trash literatures on the market, but one who has taken interest in the Srimad Bhagavatam...
This is trash?
Yeah. What does yours say?
This is rash.
But one who has taken interest in the Srimad Bhagavatam loses all interest in such filthy literatures. Sri Brahmaji is thus attempting to narrate the principal incarnations of the Lord so that they may be drunk by Narada as transcendental nectar.
Yay, that sounds great, Jack. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the second canto, 6th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Purusha Shukta Confirmed. And now we'll move on to the next chapter, at least start to get into it. Chapter 7, Scheduled Incarnations with Specific Functions. So, text 1 of chapter 7. Lord Brahma said, when the unlimitedly powerful Lord assumed the form of a boar as a pastime just to lift the planet Earth, which was drowned in the great ocean of the universe called the Garbhodak, the first demon, Hiranyaksha, appeared, and the Lord pierced him with his tusk. Purport. Since the beginning of creation, the demons and the demigods, or the Vaishnavas, are always the two classes of living beings to dominate the planets of the universes. Lord Brahma is the first demigod, and Hiranyaksha is the first demon in the universe. Interesting. Only under certain conditions do the planets float as weightless balls in the air, and as soon as these conditions are disturbed, the planets may fall down into the Garbhodak ocean, which covers half the universe. The other sphere is the spherical dome within which the innumerable planetary systems exist. The floating of the planets in the weightless air is due to the inner constitution of the globes, and the modernized drilling of the earth to exploit oil from within is a sort of disturbance by the modern demons and can result in a greatly harmful reaction to the floating condition of the earth. Interesting. A similar disturbance was created formerly by the demons headed by Hiranyaksha, the great exploiter of the gold rush. And the earth was detached from its weightless condition and fell down into the Garbhodak ocean. The Lord, as maintainer of the whole creation of the material world, therefore assumed the gigantic form of a boar with a proportionate snout and picked up the earth from within the water of Garbhodak. Sri Jayadev Goswami, the great Vaishnava poet, sang as follows: Vasati dasana sikare danane tavalagna Shashini kalanka kalevani magna Keshavadrita shukara rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Everybody. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. O Keshava, O Supreme Lord, who have assumed the form of a boar, O Lord, the planet Earth rested on your tusks, and it appeared like the moon engraved with spots.
Such is the symptom of an incarnation of the Lord. The incarnation of the Lord is not the concocted idea of fanciful men who create an incarnation out of imagination. The incarnation of the Lord appears under certain extraordinary circumstances, like the above-mentioned occasion, and the incarnation performs a task which is not even imaginable by the tiny brain of mankind. The modern creators of the many cheap incarnations may take note of the factual incarnation of God as a gigantic boar with a suitable snout to carry the planet Earth.
When the Lord appeared to pick up the earth, the demon of the name Hiranyaksha tried to create a disturbance in the methodical functions of the Lord, and therefore he was killed by being pierced by the Lord's tusk. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, the demon Hiranyaksha was killed by the hand of the Lord. Therefore, his version is that after being killed by the hand of the Lord, the demon was pierced by the tusk. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur confirms this version. Maybe read one more.
Okay, text 2. Prajapati Ruchi begot Suyagna in the womb of his wife Akuti, and then Suyagna begot the demigods headed by Suyama in the womb of his wife Dakshina. Suyagya, as the Indradev, diminished very great miseries in the three planetary systems, upper, lower, and intermediate. And because he so diminished the miseries of the universe, he was later called Hari by the great grandfather of mankind, namely Swayambhuva Manu. Purport. In order to guard against the invention of unauthorized incarnations of God by the fanciful, less intelligent persons, the name of the father of the bona fide incarnation is also mentioned in the authorized revealed scriptures. No one therefore can be accepted as an incarnation of the Lord if his father's name, as well as the name of the village or place in which he appears, is not mentioned by the authorized scriptures. In the Bhagavat Purana, the name of the Kalki incarnation, which is to take place in almost 400,000 years, is mentioned along with the name of his father and the name of the village in which he will appear. A sane man, therefore, does not accept any cheap addition of an incarnation without reference to the authorized scriptures.
Okay, there you go. So it seems that not anyone can just claim to be an incarnation. You have to be predicted in the Shastra, and that means the name of your father and the village that you're going to be from, and then we can understand that you're an incarnation. So all of those of you out there who might be thinking you're incarnations, let's see where your name is in the Shastra. Okay, anything else? Any reflections from your side?
No.
Okay, so I guess we're finished for today. All right, thank you all very much. So we'll be back again soon to continue reading the, what is this chapter called? The Source of Incarnation?
Scheduled incarnations with specific functions. So they come to do certain things. They're not just coming for the sake of travelling here. Who wants to come to the material world anyway? So they have certain things they need to do.
Yes, and they will do it.
They do it, yeah.
Okay, thank you all very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Just a reminder, we're going into the last week of the Srila Prabhupada Marathon. We have these amazing books available. Please, anyone who would like to sponsor some books so that we can give them out. We're distributing Bhagavad Gitas and all varieties of books to care homes, hospitals, prisons, libraries, and universities, all these places. So if anyone would like to sponsor, please get in touch with us. Or if you would like any books, then please let us know. We're happy to make sure you get copies. Thank you. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Yes, stay safe.